Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of I Must Ask You a Question. And today I have the honor and guest returning back is Mr. Paul Hendricks, veteran, president, and director of the Veterans Center of North Texas. How are you doing today, Paul?
Well, I'm good, Matt. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
We really
definitely.
appreciate it.
So, I want to tell the audience out there and let them know a little bit about what Veterans Center of North Texas is, how y'all were founded, what y'all do for veterans here in our area.
Well, great question, and thank you for asking that because it's really important to us. So, the Veteran Center of North Texas is a nonprofit organization. We have been founded for over 6 years, and we are serving veterans and their families daily, always without charge. So, what we do, Matt, is very simple. We have veterans visit us. We get to know the veteran very, very well, try to understand what their needs are, what's causing those needs, and then we develop a plan, either through our own resources or our community resources, to help stabilize that family, help them get them back on their feet, and help them go forward so they can be productive members of our community. Now, this may happen on a one-time short visit if it's just a small issue, or it may happen over a period of 6 months to a year, depending on how complex the situation is and how many resources and family dynamics and community dynamics that we have to address to stabilize that family and get them going. And again, our goal is one and one only, and that's to ensure that we have a stable, productive family in our community that they can live and prosper just like the rest of us.
Got it. And so, what are some of the needs that veterans come to you for?
Well, great question. In actuality, Matt, we've seen things that we can't believe we've seen because veterans, just like everybody else, are human beings and they get themselves involved in all sorts of situations. But most recently, since we've been in the COVID environment, we've experienced kind of an outcropping in certain areas. Number one, we have a tremendous amount of veterans that are unemployed. Some of them were very low income to start with, just living on a shoestring, and the unemployment has really perturbated that situation. So we're seeing a lot of requests for assistance with house payments, with rent, big demand for utility support such as electricity and water. This time of the year, we can't have anybody in their house, obviously, without electricity, and water becomes really essential in the hot environment that we're in. Um, Transportation is another issue that we've seen. A lot of folks are having difficulty keeping their vehicles going. We've had to help them with car repairs, uh, car registration, and licensing. That sort of thing is always an ongoing issue. But keeping the cars running so that they can get to work and they can go out and look for jobs, which is very, very important here in Texas since we're such a big state and we're so spread out. Food and clothing become an issue. If you don't have a regular income, food becomes a genuine problem. We've been able to help through some of our resources, providing food and clothing to the veterans and their families, and we're also able to get them connected with the community to help them with either short-term food supplies or long-term assistance. Sometimes it's getting them into the pantries while we're preparing a longer-term stability for them and getting them employed so they can take care of their own nutritional needs. But those are really the big things. Another effort that we've seen, you've heard of people with PTSD,
Yeah.
post-traumatic syndrome, which is real. We see a lot of that. The stress that COVID has placed on our community and our veteran community in particular has raised that issue, and we're seeing more and more families and the veterans themselves just having a difficult time coping. That anxiety, the desire to succeed, the desire to provide for the families just creates a tremendous amount of stress on the family and on the military member because they just don't know where to turn to. And that's
Yeah.
when they come see us, and then we try to get them connected with the resources, get them in jobs, and certainly teach them some of the skills of managing the resources they have, not the resources they wish they had. and trying to get them stabilized and going forward.
Yeah. And so, what are some of the things? Because with veterans, I know you have a what could I say? A certain type of pride. You pride yourselves because you did serve our country, and thank you for that. And I'm sure a lot of veterans out there probably don't want to ask for help when they know they need it. So, what are some things that you can maybe talk to some of the veterans maybe that are watching this that may need some help? I mean, what's a message you can give to them to kind of set that pride aside and ask for help? Because every human being who needs help needs a lending hand sometime in their life. But
Absolutely.
sometimes their egos or their prides get in the way and they don't want to, and they dig themselves into a deeper situation. So, what message can you get to maybe somebody who's watching or shares this with somebody, to kind of tell them to set that aside and come see y'all for some help, whether it's just a conversation or, with something of a bigger need?
Well, Matt, part of the problem is that a large percentage of our veterans are males, and we all have that same DNA problem. We don't like to ask for help.
Yeah.
Uh, and whether they're male or female, they're trained to operate on their own, not ask for help, because that's just a taboo situation. So, in addition to being predominantly male, in addition to that training we've had over the years, it makes it really, really tough. But here, let me tell you the problem with that. Unfortunately, instead of the first stop after a veteran is having problems, we become the last stop. They'll first off they'll try to make ends meet on their own. They'll go to family, they'll go to relatives and friends, which is all good. But if they can't find a way out of it, they start looking to different assistance agencies, and eventually they'll come knock on our door. And it seems like it's always at the last minute or close to it. We can provide such a better job if we can meet with them first. We can meet with them early on, even before the problem starts, and provide counseling with them, provide financial tutoring, if you will, or literacy training. Uh, Try to give them hope and allow them to lift themselves up. In lieu of waiting to the last minute, which we are always eager to help, it's just more difficult. And you've heard that expression, your emergency shouldn't be our emergency. Well, unfortunately, at the last minute, their emergency becomes our emergency. And sometimes we have to throw our practices to the side just to get the water turned back on, just to get the electricity turned back on, which we think are just essential here in North Texas. So if I had to give one short sentence to our veterans, it would be look for assistance or just information early, very, very early. Learn what's available. Hopefully, you won't need it, but if you do, you'll know where to go right off the bat and not be knocking on doors, getting frustrated, raising your anxiety level, enhancing the PTSD and other mental health issues that are out there. We're all human beings, and we know that uh, people experience problems. And the beauty of it is we're all veterans here. We know how things are. You don't have to be ashamed of anything. You can be happy you come in. We can tell war stories. We have the best war stories available, and we have great ears to listen. And we are arms. When COVID is not working against us, we're shaking hands, we're hugging, and we're helping people go forward because we know that they have a tremendous amount of capability and opportunities in our community. Sometimes they just need a little push, a little nudging, or a little education to go forward. So early conversations, early consultation is just very, very important. So that's what we would like to have.
Okay, so leading into that, what are the ways that someone can reach out to you? Phone number, address, time of days, where you're located. Are there other centers in North Texas? What areas do you assist in, that people can go to?
Well, a great question. First off, we serve what we consider a good piece of North Texas. We serve 10 counties. So we serve Collin, Grayson, Cook, Hunt, Fannin, Rockwall, Kaufman, Dallas, Tarrant, and Denton counties. So, I mean, that's a chunk of territory.
Yeah, definitely.
And in that territory, there's over 300,000 veterans. Now, we wouldn't want them all lined up in front of our office at the same time.
Yeah.
It might take us a while to get through it. But we are available to help those veterans in any way necessary. We are open for regular business hours. We are open 9 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and we can work after hours, if you will, by appointment, and all the weekends by appointment. Most important thing is we want to make contact. And to make contact with us is pretty simple. You can call our office. The office phone number is 214-600-2966. That number again is 214-600-2966. You can also send us an email, and our email is veterans@vcont.org. That's veterans@vcont.org. Victor, Charlie, Oscar, November, Tango.org. And that'll start the dialogue. We also have a website, and it's www.vcont.org. vcont.org. We have a Facebook page. It's Facebook/vcont.org. So you kind of see a theme here. We would really like to have people contact us in any of those ways. It's possible. We get a lot of walk-ins, which is fine, and we enjoy having walk-ins, and they'll see our sign, they'll come in, and they'll say, well, I've got these problems, I don't know what to do. We'll say, you've come to the right place, because we do know what to do. And Matt, we've been doing this for over 6 years. We've served over 5,000 veterans. I'm not saying we've seen every case, but we've seen a lot of cases out there. And it's very seldom are we not able to help a veteran. We help veterans through a variety of ways. Once they contact us, we do a detailed intake, try to understand exactly where they are. Of course, the first step is we want to validate that they're a veteran. And the DD-214, which is the discharge paper, is the number one method we use to validate that someone is a veteran. So if they don't have a DD-214, there's a couple other forms of identification we can use, but we will help them get a DD-214 so they can have that for their personal files. Then we dig in to try to understand what's going on, why it's going on, and what's the best roadmap to go forward. Now, we don't do everything ourselves here. It would be nice if we had a huge staff. It'd be nice if we had millions of dollars standing behind us, but we don't have that. But we do sort of have that because we partner with our community. We have over 150 partners in our community. Once we go through the intake process, we will look to our community to help provide that support and referral. So our title for our organization or our catch line is that we are Information, Referral, and Crisis Intervention Center. So our first line of defense, if you will, is after we understand what's going on, is to try to provide information to the veteran and their family so they can maybe just feel a little more comfortable. Where is the VA? How do I register for the VA? Where are the VA locations in North Texas? Little simple things like that. We used to have people come in concerned about going to the VA. They said, I don't have any place to go. I need medical care. But are they going to butcher me down there, so to speak? I said, no, you're going to get first-class treatment. Don't be afraid. Let us help you get down there. Many times we've made appointments for folks. They'll come back and say, wow, what an opportunity. That's part of our information type activity. Where can I find a job? Where can I find housing? We are aligned with quite a few different realtors. You might appreciate that. And someone looking for an area, we'll try to refer our veterans to those particular realtors so they can be shown around and try to find an apartment or a house that meets their income and family needs. We've been very successful with that. Problems with, where are the schools? Well, what are the better schools around, and what can I afford? And how do I find a good car? I need to have a car repaired. So we have just a ton of referrals to go out off with. So that's how we do business. We also have funds internally if we have to help make a house payment, make a utility payment, a car payment. We've done plenty of that. We only do that if those resources are not readily available in the community, or if it's a situation that's just one of timeliness. We'll try to use our own resources initially, and we may reach out to the community for the rest of it. There's a lot of resources in the community, whether they're private organizations, other nonprofits, or government organizations. We use our state and U.S. Elected officials a tremendous amount to help us resolve issues where veterans do not seem to think they're getting the right support in one way or the other. We had a person this morning that we were talking to who has a wrongful discharge in his mind. That is a big deal, but it's a very important deal if it's accurate. It can be fixed. That needs to be done. And we refer those folks to our U.S. congressman. Depends on where they live, which congressman we go to. And they've been very effective about opening the doors to any of those kinds of things investigated. Okay. So that's what we do here.
Awesome. And I know you're a nonprofit, all volunteer. Nobody gets paid. You're there to help and make a difference. And I know a lot of the grants that you get, 100% goes to helping the veterans. So I know we have a big day coming up this week, I believe, and it's North Texas Giving Day. So tell me a little bit about what North Texas Giving Day is before we get into the next question.
Well, so North Texas Giving Day is an unbelievable opportunity here in North Texas. I don't know that it's done anyplace else in our nation, but North Texas Giving Day is sponsored by the Communities Foundation of Texas, and they're in their 8th or 9th year of doing this activity. Last year, on this equivalent date, this Thursday equivalent date, that foundation raised $43 million in one day. $43 million. And it is done with heart and love for the community. The Communities Foundation of Texas asks our citizens to donate to the nonprofit of their choice, and it has to be a nonprofit or a school, which is typically a nonprofit, and provide those tax deductible donations to the organization of their choice. This year, that day, the North Texas Giving Day, is going to be on the 17th of September. That's this coming Thursday. Now, we are certainly in a different environment this year than we have been in the past. It's very difficult to know. There's been a lot of money that's been distributed to the communities because of major concerns with COVID and unemployment that goes along with that and all the other situations. So we're not sure how well this campaign is going to go this year. In our particular case, we are participating in North Texas Giving Day. And we don't do fundraising. So we do, our funds come from two areas. Number one, for the money that we use to support our veterans directly, that comes out of grants that we receive. The grantors grant us funds, and we in turn redistribute that in accordance with the foundation requirements to go forward. North Texas Giving Day is the other method that we generate revenue, and that's to support our operations. The facility we're in, we have to rent the facility, pay all of the utilities and so on, and that's a substantial amount of money. One thing that's nice about our organization, in addition to the fact that we are supporting our veterans every day, is that we have no staff to pay. So a good lot of organizations will raise money on North Texas Giving Day, and wonderful to them and bless their heart, a high percentage of that money will go to pay for salaries, which I'm not begrudging that whatsoever. We just happen to be lucky enough that we have veterans that want to volunteer with us, and each and every one of us do it for the love of our veteran community. And so we do this for no charge. And we volunteer about 8,000 hours a year here. So we're really proud of that, by the way. Uh, it's kind of amazing that a group of volunteers can do this year over year over year. And you go home, and my wife will say, "Well, how'd it go today?" Another wonderful day. We help people that are just unbelievably uh, facing issues, and we've helped them. So it's almost like being rewarded every day just by helping people. So this Thursday on North Texas Giving Day, we would really appreciate our community helping us uh, go forward and help us with our operations. And this is a tough year. We all know it. Um, so on the bottom of your screen there, there's an advertisement, and I appreciate that. If
Yeah,
you go to our website, oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, wants to help out, because I know you events to keep the lights on, continue to do what you're doing. And that's North Texas Giving Day, as well as a golf tournament. But the golf tournament got canceled due to COVID. So you're really depending on this day on Thursday to really, help fill the gap from that event as well. So everybody, if you're looking to help out, I mean, a dollar. I know times are tough, during COVID. Everybody has situations, but even a dollar adds up. Whatever you can find that you can, maybe not buy a case of beer this weekend, or a pack of cigarette, whatever it is, even a dollar, like I said, if you can donate it to them on Thursday, that will make a huge difference for them, and give them the opportunity to continue doing what they're doing, and serve more veterans, because I know this is growing. You said you're I think 6 years into it, and you've helped many veterans, and it's continuing to grow. You're into a new facility, which is amazing, because that means you're able to help more veterans out there. So, definitely, if you can donate a dollar or whatnot, I mean, do it to Veterans of North Texas. There's a link below, or you can just go to North Texas Giving Day and type in, Veterans of North Texas, and pop it up right there. Um, but is there anything else you want to, address? Take an opportunity to let our audience know of other ways that we can help, other than donating on North Texas Giving Day. Are there any other options and needs that maybe one can help out with throughout the year?
Well, so thank you for asking a question, Matt. I give a lot of presentations, and the last slide in my presentations is always the same. We're always asking for help in three ways. Okay, the first one is we are a Veterans Service Center, and we would really enjoy having more veterans visit us. So if you are a veteran or you know a veteran, have them come visit us. So that's our number one initiative, is serving veterans. So nothing could make us better or happier than have a line of veterans for us to serve each and every day. The second item that we ask for is volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. Our volunteers, again, are very dedicated. They work 4 hours a week. We provide book training as well as over-the-shoulder type training. It takes about a month to become fairly proficient, and you work 4 hours a week. So once a volunteer gets acclimated, we'll put them on the calendar. They'll work with a more seasoned volunteer, and they will get to go home with that glisten like the rest of us, knowing that they've helped out another human being, and that human being happens to be a veteran. And we've changed their life, we've made it better, and we've actually seen something that's very tangible. It's not just handout; it's really that hand up. The third thing that we're always looking for is additional agencies that we can partner with. We call them our service providers. And that's an agency that respects veterans and is willing to work with veterans. So if they have a product, either a direct support or through a grant they may have, if we can refer each other back and forth, that's exactly what we want to do. So we'll refer a veteran to their agency, and they will refer a veteran back to us. So we can be kind of the hub to go back and forth. Those are the three things that we're always looking for: veterans to serve, volunteers to help, and partners to partner with. And then it's just this time of the year, and then golf season, which we had to cancel out that were looking for money. Otherwise, raising funds is last on my priority. Serving veterans is first on our priority, and it always will be. So if anybody can help us this year in any of those three areas, or can donate on North Texas Giving Day, we'd really like to have that. If you want to just call and talk about it, I'd love to talk with you. I can talk for a long time or a short time. I have a tendency to talk for a long time. And our office phone number is 214 600 2966. And my name is Paul, and I'm ready to talk with you. And we can find out if you have issues, if you'd like to volunteer, or if you just like to tell us a war story. We always have coffee. We always have snack bars. And our office is open every Monday through Friday from 9 in the morning until 4:30 in the evening, and by appointment on the weekends.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, for today. And, everybody, like I said, if you can donate $1 or anything on North Texas Giving Day, it'll be a great help for our veterans and for veterans in North Texas in helping them to serve more. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service. I truly appreciate it. And we will talk soon again.
Thank you so much. And audience, thank you very much. Please call us, Paul Hendricks.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.